wild trees. Is he said he was going to bow out. I'm like, well, you can. I mean, I'm not getting paid for it.
Yeah.
If you want to. Yeah, we're live now.
No, all right.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Bobby Dizzle podcast. As always, you can follow me on BobbyDizzle.com. It's right here. Subscribe, like, comment, all the things. We're joined tonight by Mike Colontonio. That's how I have to say the name. From Long Island Bigfoot. Mike, how you doing?
I'm all right. How are you?
Pretty good. And I got Wild Trees. He is under the weather. He's going to be sans camera tonight. He doesn't have his makeup on, so he'll just be with us in spirit.
Yeah, I thought I thought a stimulating conversation might help me with my illness.
Hey, I took 2 Joe Rogan Alpha Brains and got coffee. That's how I roll.
How is that stuff?
I can't tell whether or not it works.
Yeah.
But I know that when I take it, within an hour, I get in this really, really, really good mood.
Okay.
That's
I've just had a ton of coffee first thing in the morning, and I'm smiling a lot, and I want to talk.
That's
I don't
good
know if
enough.
that's what it does, and I don't get bored at work a lot. I still do the same amount of work. I'm just not like, man, this is stupid. I want to stop. You kind of, it does something. I don't know if it does $70 a month worth of something, but it does something. There's something.
That is a lot, but I mean, you could spend that on coffee too. You know what I mean?
And I do.
Yeah.
Boy, do I. I'm what's known as an addict and not trying to quit.
Yeah.
Today I got my NYPD cup just for you.
When you put caffeinated dad in your about section, I mean.
Yeah, caffeinated adventure for a cool dad. Because that's where all this originated for me. Drinking Mountain Dew at the old country store growing up, making conversation. I'm trying to replicate that feeling here, so I'm like, yeah, it's getting caffeinated.
Now,
before I do anything, I pour coffee anyway.
And you have to emphasize that it was Diet Mountain Dew, right?
Yeah, it was Diet Mountain. Well, for the longest time at the store, it was always regular. But I started drinking Diet in college because I started liking the flavor better.
Yeah.
But Diet is the only addiction I have left right now. Diet Mountain
Dew. Mountain Dew always reminds me of those kids from the 2 kids from that movie. Will Ferrell. There it is. Yep.
Hopped up on Mountain Dew. Surely you got Mountain Dew in New York.
Yeah, they got everything.
Got it all. It's a melting pot over here.
It sure is. Yeah. I think we were talking before, and I said, I was like, all right, I'm gonna run. I'm gonna grab this avocado and go get some Mexican food. I'm gonna grab an avocado out of the bodega, and
you said bodega.
Something like that's the most New York shit I ever heard.
It was. I thought immediately of Half Baked. Say it with me now, bodegas. You can tell by the extremely old products and dusty shelves. He said that's where you get the best weed in New York. They don't deliver it to you. Surely you've seen that one. That's a good one.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
We could do like 2 hours. I'm just quoting Half Baked.
Jim Brewer's from out here somewhere on Long Island. I don't know where, but
Jan, man, what's it like? Be my girlfriend, Jan. All right, let's talk about this Long Island thing, because I have been, if you can tell from the avatar or the logo of this show, there are no pictures of Long Island that aren't NYC, and we explicitly discussed that NYC was not all, or Long Island was not all Long Island, all NYC. But what kind of wilderness are you dealing with out there as far as cryptids go?
Yeah, no, it's a common misconception. It's crazy, but so there's 5 boroughs. You got Bronx, Queens, Brooklyn, Manhattan, and Staten Island. So, Manhattan is the city, obviously, New York. Mm-hmm. And then you have, as you come out towards Long Island, come across the bridge, you have Queens and Brooklyn. They're stacked on top of each other. And then you have Nassau County, which is the first part of Long Island. And then you have Suffolk County out east further, which is where I'm at. So, we're not close to the city at all. There's, it's the suburbs. Like, you can't even build, like, it takes an act of Congress to get a 3-story house here.
Yeah.
You can't build, like, it's just like any other suburb anyway. And we're far from the city. It's not close, but it's just a common misconception.
Mm-hmm. The extent of what I know about Long Island comes from the Alan Jackson song "Gone Country." She said, "I'm a simple girl myself. Grew up on Long Island." I'm like, "What?" How far is the drive from say Montauk to the city? Because that's the tip of the iceberg.
So you gotta understand, on Long Island, we talk in time, we don't talk in miles, because of the traffic. Ooh. So
I can get it.
It's kind of hard to explain, but you're on an island, so you only have X, Y, and Z ways to go, and it's very overpopulated. So there's certain times of day where, rush hour is, maybe in places there's rush hour, but here rush hour is like 3 or 4 hours. So to get to, I don't know. I think Montauk to New York is probably, I'm not sure. Maybe it's 100 miles. I'm not sure.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not. Shit. I'm not 100% on that, but it's far. It's far. Like Montauk.
That's how big Long Island is.
I'd have to.
Good Lord.
I'd have to. It's long for a reason. Yeah.
Hey, I don't doubt it.
No, I don't. I'd have to look it up, to be honest with you. I don't know how long it is. I don't know how top to bottom, side to side. I'm not exactly sure, but I know I'm probably a good 50 miles from the city.
Wow. So, I guess that explains how you have so much material to deal with out there.
Yeah. There's a Pine Barrens close. Like, the Pine Barrens start pretty much where I live, and they go all the way out towards Montauk. Camp Hero, like in Montauk, Camp Hero, I think is 100,000 acres. It's just by itself. Which is the home of Stranger Things, like that.
Yeah, that's my favorite conspiracy guy, Sam Tripoli, did a documentary out there, so I got to researching it.
I might be backtracking. Maybe the Pine Barrens are 100,000 acres. I'm not sure, and we're not talking Jersey Pine Barrens, because that's what that's where people kind of go to. But there's Pine Barrens here too. So
that makes sense. Is that where you do your research?
Sometimes there's a lot of weird stuff that happens when I go there. I haven't done. There's some parts I go to that I enjoy, but there's some parts I won't go back to. It's kind of a mixed bag there. I have a feeling that the cryptids that go there are the one. They go there for the reasoning of they don't want to be around people. So you could kind of get that negative. I find I get a more chance of a negative, like rolling the dice. I get more chance of a negative encounter when I go there.
We have an answer from our resident fact checker. This is Miss Melinda. She's a crowd favorite. We've got a Montauk to Manhattan, $1.22. Fastest route says 2 hours 42 minutes with tolls.
Yeah,
what's a toll? Is that some kind of cryptid? I know. I don't speak toll.
Tolls have changed.
Thanks,
you used to put your change in the thing. Now you don't even know you went through them. They have, at least in New York, they have. You pass right under it, and it's like beep beep beep. It takes pictures of your plates, sends that thing right to your house. It's nuts.
Kind of like they put John Goodman's character from Coyote Ugly out of business. That's what happened to Leanne Rhymes. She's now working at the toll bridge.
Yeah. What was that, Toll Booth Willie? I think that was Adam Sandler.
Yeah. He used to give, because 1, 2, ring. It came through. Now we're talking about Coyote Ugly. Hey, so what would you describe a negative cryptid encounter with, like, out there? That sounds terrifying. It's like fighting a ghost.
I had a guy come out, a subscriber turned friend, come up from Alabama. Quick story is, like, we just started talking, from him being a subscriber to offline kind of. And he was talking about his vacation was coming up, and he could go anywhere, and he didn't know where he wanted to go. And I said, well, what's your limitations? He said, I could do anything. So I could do a cruise, I could go to an island, I could do this, I could do that. I said, oh, it's awesome. I said, try a cruise. I said, well, what do you want to do? He said, honestly, I would love to go to Long Island and go in the field with you. I said, stop. I was like, you got, like, just stop. I'm like, get out of here. He's like, no, I'm dead serious. I said, well, look, man, I'm nobody to get in your way. I said, I have shit going on, but if you would like, want to come here, get a B&B or whatever, and when I can get out, I can get out. And that's what he did. He came, he got a B&B around the block from my house. When I could get out, we went out. So I forced some things that I might not have in normally because of him being here. So I was like, oh, let's go out. Like, we'll go out at night. So I don't usually do that because that's cryptid playground time. We were in the Pine Barrens in this particular spot. I don't go anymore. And this was a negative encounter. So it started out daytime, turned into night. Everything was kind of cool, fine, whatever. As night started to fall, we could hear what sounded like wild dogs. So there's no coyotes, there's no wolves, there's no bears on the ground. The biggest thing is a white-tailed deer. There are no predators. That's it. So we started to hear what sounded like wild dogs, like a pack of dogs moving through the brush, like they were far off, but you could hear them moving, and it just didn't sound right. I told him we got to get out of here. Like I said, everything don't feel right. We got to get out of here. So as we're leaving, we're kind of shuffling around and still kind of getting complacent and poking around and looking at different things and like, oh, that's kind of cool. Look at this, like, doesn't that rock mossy look weird, whatever? And I'm filming at the time, so this is why I kind of remember everything. All of a sudden, I look over and there's this drop off. We're off trail, but across the wide trail on the other side is this drop off. Probably a good, 10, 15 feet drop off. It's covered in leaves. You would have had to make a lot of noise. Anything would have made a lot of noise. Something popped its head up, and these big saucer orange eyes just glowing in the dark, and it went back down. And it freaked me out, and I'm like, we got to get out of here. So at this point, you hear the dogs getting closer. I'm like, we got to go. So now I turn the camera towards where I saw that, and I'm like, did you see that? And he said, yeah. And it did it again, whatever this thing was. It popped up and popped back down. But this time I got it on film. And anyway, long story short, we were scared out of our minds. Nothing felt okay. It didn't feel like we were, it felt like we were being stalked from a couple of different things. You know what I mean? Almost like there was something coming in hot from that way. And then there was something right over there that was trying to maybe slow play us and see if we were going to make a mistake. So I'm telling him, get out. I'm like, get out, get in front of me and get out. Like, I kind of feel responsible for him at this time. You know what I mean? I'm like, like, damn, like I shouldn't have did this to you. And so we get out and we get to the car, and it's at the edge. It's on the road, but it's these back roads. It's very, very, very dark. The only light is coming from this like old industrial park, not old, but an industrial park that's closed because it's nighttime. And we hear a scream come from behind the industrial park, like, or over that way, like this high pitched scream. So I'm like, all right, this is not good. But we kind of got comfortable because we were at the car and there was a little bit of light. So we kind of, again, got a little complacent and got a little comfortable. As soon as I cut the camera off, we were standing there and something, and we didn't see it. We couldn't see it. And we should have been able to see it, but because like you could feel its breath, whatever it was, screamed in our face. And it was the most high-pitched shriek, like, I can't even do it. Like, it was so, like, horrifying. Like, and I remember trying to make like when weird stuff happens, I'll like kind of like self front face and document it so I don't forget.
Mhm.
And I found that like after like as we're leaving, he's driving. Thank God. I don't know how he was driving, but I remember I found the video of me trying to explain what just happened, and I'm like fumbling through it, and I'm like shaking. I could see myself like shaking,
Mhm.
and I don't get like that too often. But yeah, that was one that I would consider a bad encounter.
Yeah. So you could feel its breath.
Yeah, like it was like it was like it was yeah, it was like it was in our face. You knew it was in our face, but we couldn't see anything. Like you there was nothing there physically.
Do you think Long Island's like that because with the cryptids because of the Montauk, or was it before where that went
Uh,
down?
I don't know why. I don't know every reason why, or I'm not gonna pretend to. I guess you know what I
Yeah.
mean. But we have Plum Island here. We have Brookhaven Labs here. Uh, when if you map them out, if you map out Brookhaven Labs, Montauk, and Plum Island, they make this triangle. Um, South Haven State Park it was Brookhaven Labs just said
Mhm.
they shot down that UFO in '92. Everybody saw that crash right in South Haven Park. I do a lot of stuff in there. It's weird, it's very weird. But there's a lot of history and a lot of weird things that go on here. You know, a lot of people don't know because I don't talk about it, but like I do a lot of the same areas that Jeff Meldrum did when he started. Um,
Mhm.
you know, I don't like to name drop, so I don't say it, but that's where he kind of started, is in the same places that I'm doing. So there's a lot here. There's a lot here. Why? I don't know.
Mhm.
I don't know. If you would have told me a few years ago there was Bigfoot here, I would have told you there wasn't, because that's what I thought. I thought you had to go to the Pac West. I thought you had to go to the
Mhm.
Pacific Northwest. I thought you had to take a tour into the middle of the mountains, and you had a tree knock, and you had to light fires, and you had to scream in the woods. That's what I thought. That's what I thought. Lo and
Yeah.
behold, there's suburban Sasquatch. Uh, I can't deny it. And I can't deny that there's other things out here either because I've seen them. For whatever reason, I don't know if there's like something that unlocks. You know what I mean? Like if there's like, it's almost kind of like when Neo gets that pill. It's like, look, man, like, once you take this
Mhm.
crap, there's no going back. Like that's kind of how it feels. It's kind of like a switch turns on, and now you can just see it all. And it's like, how is all this stuff right in front of my face? Because it had to be. It had to be all right there. It had to be. Where was it? It's all the same places. So how was I so blinded to it? And I watch people all day that are still blinded to it. And I don't hold it against them, but I was one of them not too long ago.
You didn't have any major life events near that time when it started popping off?
Yes, yes. I came back from combat.
Oh, well.
I was healing from PTSD. I had a traumatic brain injury. Think that might have had a lot to do with like my reset button.
Yeah.
Like my.
I forgot about that, man. Yeah, I should
I
have
think
asked that
maybe
first.
no, it's okay, but I
Yeah.
think that kind of wiped my slate clean. And then I was healing from a heroin addiction and opiate addiction and PTSD and getting rid of all the people I knew and everything I knew I had to get rid of, and then I had to build myself back up from this like empty shell almost, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
And that's when that Sasquatch I call Bubba, that's when he showed up. Like he stepped up. Because while I was healing, I was pretty hopeless, for lack of better words. Like I didn't really see like, well, the life I knew was like so destroyed. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I couldn't see beauty in things anymore. Like everything changed. Everything changed that day.
It's almost like your veil to the other side was paper thin after
Yeah,
that.
yeah, could very well be.
That's interesting. Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know why I didn't put two and two together. We talked about that a
no,
little while.
that's all right. I mean,
Makes total sense.
yeah, I think that it's the only thing I can come up with is why. Like, I think maybe there was times where I was trying to be reached, and it just couldn't be because of sobriety. I wasn't sober, like things to that effect,
Yeah, well, the good news for you is no one's ever seen a Bigfoot by wood knocking, so you didn't miss anything. That's the unless you have, and I'm not insulting you or anything, but that's that's the most annoying thing I've ever seen. Like it's a creature you couldn't find a squirrel doing stuff like that, much less an interdimensional being.
Right, but it's just because people don't know what to do, and that's what's pushed out there. You know what I mean? That's what's pushed out there to the public. Little old me, little old you don't get that time. We don't get that kind of spotlight. So, that's what majority of people, that's why we get clowned, because that's what people think we all do. People who want to do it and are interested think that's what you're supposed to do. And that's how nobody gets anywhere. Nobody gets anywhere. You know what I mean? You're feeding the people who want to trash us, and then you're feeding the people who want to do it garbage so that they don't never get anywhere.
Yeah, the craziest rise to the top when it comes to that. The guys with you always see the guys with the crazy hats on and the camo pants and crouch down in a bush.
Yeah.
Like I know an old lady that saw Sasquatches holding a pumpkin pie. You're not doing anything.
Well,
no lies detected though. I mean, it's the truth.
It is. You're right.
You're not sneaking up on a boar. It's a sentient creature.
Right. Well, that's what it is. That's what I think it is, though. I think that people have that like hunter mentality, and then it's embedded in a lot of us that we are the dominant species on Earth, right? Like we're the smartest ones on Earth. Like look at us. We take tools. We learn tools. We learn this. We learn tech. Honestly, how do people think that those huge TVs with the backs on them and the computers with all that crap, how do you think that advanced overnight into a smartphone this big? The transistor, where do they think we got that thing from? Somebody made it? No, it was dropped in our lap from, I'm pretty sure it dropped on that 92 crash. Honestly, I'm pretty sure that's where it came from.
I've never heard of the 92 crash before. Say Pinehaven Labs?
It was in South Haven State Park. They say that Brookhaven Labs shot it down. The people who live in the area say that they saw something go, rocket at it. I wasn't there, so I don't know. And I was only, I think, 8 years old or something at the time, so I don't. I remember people buzzing about it, but that was about it.
That was about the time all that stuff took off too. Everything went from kind of analog to digital.
Yeah, I mean 92. That's just my input. I don't.
You're probably onto a good track there, as far as the shared technology. That you ever heard of the 50-year rule? Like the government has something, their technology is 50 years above whatever we can imagine.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I always hear from the folks.
Yeah, no, it makes sense.
Yeah, that's terrifying. And I'm shooken. I forgot what I was going to ask you next. Dadgummit. I guess I'll ask you about Bubba. Bubba the Sasquatch. What were you saying, Wild Trees?
I was going to ask Mike. Well, going along with your asked about Bubba, I was going to ask Mike. Well, first of all, nice to meet you, Mike. Good to talk to you. I was going to ask what your explanation of, I guess, Bubba specifically is. Do you think it's a physical animal, just like a coyote or a dog, or do you think it's more of a spiritual entity, or is it a mixture of both?
Categorizing is tough. I think they're a category all their own, but they're a people. They're a type of people. That much I could say. They're physical, but they're not always physical. I call them spiritual Sasquatch, but I don't know how to categorize them. You know what I mean? But I know some things about them, but I don't want to sit here and act like I know who they are and everything about them. And again, I'll also only say for me and for what I've learned, because I can't comfortably make blanket statements because we live in such a big world, and it got so much bigger now that we know that there's these other beings and they come through these portals and different things like that, you know. So but yeah, they can be physical. I've seen them physical. I've also seen them they're teaching me bending. I'm hoping it's coming to a close soon, but like, remember Avatar, the last airbender? Like, they're teaching me how they bend things, light, air, the different elements, how they blend and bend. That's basically what I'm learning, is blending and bending.
Nice.
Yeah, it's exhausting. It's a lot. I've actually had, this is the first time I've had to write stuff down because it's been so much.
I imagine so. That is a note-taking event.
Man, it's pretty. No, I don't want to say it's pretty. It's remarkable. It's amazing.
Were you ever into the gifting side of it whenever you were first getting into it?
Oh, absolutely. I still am. Yeah, I still am. You know, I believe that's the best way to get started, is to, you know,
trust.
Yeah, trust. You know, gift and you know, start a relationship that way. Gift and you know, I'm Sicilian. We show up anywhere with a gift. You know, yeah, you know, and then the best thing besides bringing gifts is to just don't try to outsmart them. Like, just say, hey, I'm a humble student and I just want to learn. You know, I've learned it's similar to like I don't want people to think I'm comparing them to God, but it's similar to when people say, like, when you have a plan, God laughs. It's similar to that. Like you can't go out there with a plan, because it will just unfold every time. Because if you go out there and just say, hey, universe, hey, Sasquatch, hey, elementals, whatever, today I'm here, what do you want to give me? You know, I'm open for it. And granted, it doesn't go at your pace. If you're looking for instant gratification, shit, you're in the wrong place. If you don't love nature and love what you're doing and love doing, you know, hard, it becomes hard work when you're trying to piece it all together. If you don't love it, it'll wear you out, you know. And you dump money into this, lots of money into it, you know, whether it's even just gas. Like, you dump a lot of money into this stuff. You know, there's ways to go around it. Like, we go to thrift shops now for gifts and stuff, like things like that, you know, yard sales, stuff like that, because I even just buying like fruits and things like that can get pricey. You know, I have 5 mouths to feed, you know, babies, at least kids. So I got 5 mouths to feed on a army disability, you know. So
yeah,
you know how that goes.
I think I made the joke on the subreddit Bigfoot that I wonder if the peanut butter industry knows how integral they are to the Bigfoot research. Like, I wonder if they know that they're like a key to the whole thing, the linchpin.
Yeah, because Randy said he's bought like hundreds of bottles of peanut butter for them.
Have you seen his piles of peanut butter lids?
It
looks like checkerboards at Cracker Barrel.
Each one is like $3 at least. So, I mean, $3 times like 200 peanut butter jars. That's a lot of money.
Yeah. The community is very, you know, they're very, very kind, and they do donate occasionally. So, like, I'm very careful with what I do with that. You know, I really am. But it can get expensive.
What do you think would be their favorite thing that you've gifted them so far? That we could see, because we're working with a couple other guys that gift. We're trying to find the best strategy to maybe appease them.
Anything personal. The more personal, and the more personal it is to you, and the more self of you that it brings, the better. The more of you that it shows and emanates is the better. Like like something you make at home, like by hand, is best. Like, I've had my kids make things for them. You know what I mean? That goes a long way. You know, if you just want to do like things like marbles, I know like Mike does that at Sasquatch, Ontario. So I kind of do that because he did it, and you know, as like an homage to him, because he's why I got into this. I like shells. I like, you know, crystals and rocks and things like that. But anything, I think anything with a personal touch to it, like, you know, if you have something like, if you have like I'll gift the CD, like my favorite CD from a childhood, I gifted it. But what good is it to me anymore? You know what I mean? Like, or a cassette tape that was your favorite cassette tape. What good is it to you anymore? If you have it laying around, gift it. Say, hey, here's a little piece of me. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Things like that. I think that goes the longest, the furthest, because it has, when you're gifting that thing, whether you realize it or not, there's so much of your passion and emotion and love and all that behind it. You know what I mean? Whether you realize it or not, there's so much attached to it.
That does make sense.
It's like you're giving them something that's really important to you. You know what I mean?
They're very intention based and trustworthy based, so that would make a whole lot of sense.
Mm-hmm, yeah,
like trustworthiness is currency to them.
Sure, absolutely, yeah, yeah. I mean, I try to come forth with them, like come openly with them every time. I speak like I always say we, like when I'm filming and so I'll say like, hey guys, like we're here, like, but I'm by myself, but I'm filming, so I want them to know like this is gonna go to other people, and like I don't try to like dupe them or nothing like that. See, it's a little different for me because they want me to be an ambassador between peoples. They want me to share between peoples, which, if you can remember back a few minutes ago when I said how hard it was for me to I was like a empty shell. I was hopeless. I was, social anxieties, PTSD, so I was like, you got the wrong guy. I don't want to be around. I don't talk to nobody. Like I'm out in these woods. That's how I bumped into you. I've been in these woods walking in circles for 5 years because I'm afraid to go in the store. You know what I mean? Like, so I was like trying to talk, myself out of this job, if you will, this position that they put me in. I don't know where I was going with that.
You're saying how they accepted you into their fold, sort of.
Oh yeah. So trust is it definitely goes a long way for sure. Like the more open you are with them, the better. And that's, to some people it sounds dumb because they can't imagine how intelligent they are and how far it goes with them. But it's not just some thing out there that grunts and and it's not a monkey. It's not just an animal. They are so advanced, and I think we could be just as advanced. We're just dumbed down, for lack of better words, by our society and by from birth. Like we're put into this spin cycle of BS that dumbs us down. Like they literally tell you you're only using this much of your brain, and we're like, okay, like why?
Now, as far as the I don't want to call them urban Bigfoots on your end, have you you just have the one? How many is in the little group you run around with or deal with regularly?
Well, I started interacting recently. Well, not recently, but more recently. He's become more active, but his son Janus is his name. I just got a name about like a month ago. Janus is like, when I researched what that meant, or at least in history, it's like it's like a new beginning and like a gatekeeper and things to that effect. I don't know. I can't remember everything exactly, but so I'm pretty sure I'm starting fresh with him, and we're gonna go through a lot of things with his son. So there are more of them. I don't get to interact with them. I've seen the family twice. Once was when the guy I was talking about earlier, Bama Jeff, when he came up, I couldn't believe it that he got to see the whole family sitting there. I could not believe it. That was the second time that I had seen him. Hey, what's up, brother? Sean's here. Good. I could not believe they showed for him, and that just showed a lot to me about who he was. Like I already knew, but the fact that they showed themselves to him like that told me everything I'll ever need to know about this guy.
And his name was Bama Jeff?
That's what I call him, yeah.
Yeah. I feel like we should get together.
Yeah.
Elaborate. What part of Alabama is he from?
Oh,
If he told you.
yeah, no, he does, but he's. I know he moved around a little bit because of his job. He's a car salesman, and right now he's a car salesman. So he was kind of bouncing around because of bosses. I think he was in Montgomery. I forget.
Okay.
Well, I was, I don't know much about Alabama. I was in Fort Benning, and I actually lived in Bama for a little while, but it was right on the border, near Phoenix City there. I think I was in like Fort Mitchell or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
Fort
can't
Rucker
remember.
down there. Yeah, Montgomery's down south.
Yeah, I want to say that's where he is.
I'll have to hit him up. I have to get your contact.
Yeah, he'll talk to you. He'll talk about this all day with anybody. He loves it.
I bet. That's how most people are that have any enthusiasm.
Yeah. Yeah, but it sucks because whatever. I'm not gonna get into him, but there's so many people around him that are just like, why do you watch this freaking guy? He's like, yo, if you know what he did for me, like, and I didn't do anything. I just took him in the woods, technically, right?
Melinda has another tidbit. Can you read that?
James.
Janus, the Roman god.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, there we go. That's it. Yes. Thank you.
Doorways, passages. Ooh.
And
Bigfoot's MO there.
Depicted as having two faces. Cool. Thank you. All right. Yeah. So I think that's why I don't know if that's his name, but I think that's why he wants me to call him that. Maybe so I piece that together. I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine.
They could be Walking Dead fans. That was one of the, or was that JS? I don't know. I can't remember that crazy lady that lived in the dumps in the trash pile.
I don't know. Oh, yeah. I know who you're talking about. That was kind of clever though. How they,
yeah,
that whole show was amazing.
I've got my terminus map over here.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah, from the remember when they had the terminus thing? They'd go to the they had the railroad track maps.
Oh yeah, of course I remember. Yeah. I watch it. Yeah, I watch it all the time. I got my Whitehall Bigfoot map on there, and they only have like 10 Sasquatch sightings in Whitehall. I'm like, you guys are nuts.
Now, when it comes to the Bigfoot out there on Long Island, are they more in that pine area, like the wilder part, or you ever have any in like the more grown up places?
No, I've seen them everywhere. I mean, right button up against society. I mean, everywhere, right up against the highways, right up against anything. Small patches, big patches of woods. They're in my backyard. I know a lot of people are going to snicker at that, but I don't give a damn. They come right up to the backyard. How they get here, I don't know. How often are they here? I don't know. But when they want me to see them, I see them. I live in the Catskill Mountains too, so
yeah.
This is my mother's house down on the island. I come down here to visit my other son, to go to the VA hospital, things like that. So right now, for the past year, I've been living in the Catskill Mountains, so it's a whole different ball game up there than it is here. To be honest, it's easier here. It's easier.
Well, the reason I ask is there's one sighting in my county I'm in right now, and we're kind of it's a more grown up county in the state. Not a lot of industrialization, except for where I'm at. It's like the Pentagon of the South. And it's right up against the military base where the sighting was, but right next to a hotel. And I'm thinking, how often does that happen? But you just confirmed it, just downtown in your backyard.
Yeah, look, I thought I was the weirdest guy on earth that was just having these things happen to me with these suburban Sasquatch, as I call them, and that nobody was ever gonna believe a word I said. And then I started to just come open with it, and people just started pop. I was too embarrassed to say anything, but I saw it here, and they just, even here on Long Island, I can't mention the people because they don't want to be out there, but the places that they've seen them, some are in Nassau County, closer to Queens, and which is just something I never thought I'd hear, but it happened. So I don't doubt it at all. I don't doubt it at all. And one of the things that I've learned from them is that they don't have to consume food to intake energy. Like they can soak it up. They can soak the sun up. The reason they do all these things with the structures, bend, tucks, snaps, and breaks, and things, they all kind of interconnect, and it's almost like conduit in your house is the best way to explain it. And these structures being seemingly like an outlet where you would plug into to charge your phone up, they're charging themselves up. They can also draw apparently from power lines, unnatural things that we produce, like power lines, which is sometimes why they're seen there. I'm assuming, not because it's a path of least resistance. Could be both reasons, but I was shown a picture, like visually, of the third rail, so I'm assuming they could draw from that too. They were showing me like unnatural things that they draw from. Maybe the power lines ran behind the hotel over there. I don't know. Maybe there's a ley line there. Big quartz deposit. Who knows?
Yeah, this whole state's built on limestone, so that's possible.
Oh yeah, so there you go.
Yeah. Have you noticed any pattern to the teepees?
Yeah,
like directionally, does it follow anything? The river, perhaps?
I think they're placed in locations where there's something below it. I think it's things that we can't see really. But I think they're put on. I don't know. This is my speculation, so don't. I like to be clear about things that I've been shown directly from them, and then things that I just am opinionated on. And this is an opinion. I think that they're laid on top of like places where the sun beams straight down into them, or places where there's something underneath, like a ley line, or like you were saying, like some kind of deposit, like limestone or quartz or something energetic where maybe they, can draw from.
We've heard people talk about how they can put, the peanut butter and the apples inside of a teepee, and nothing will bother it. A possum, a raccoon, coyote, nothing will bother it.
Yeah.
That was insane. Something's going on with those.
Yeah, well, it's yeah.
I have a question, Mike. Since they want you to view you as an ambassador, they want you to be an ambassador. Like, so what are the top things? What are the top things they want you? They want humans to know about them. What should people know? What's the most important things?
Well, I just kind of I don't know if there's any one thing that's more important than another. I just kind of take what comes as it comes, and then I have to filter out what's for me and then what's for being passed along.
Right
now I'm being pushed in a book direction. I hate it just as much as I hated it when they told me I was going to be an ambassador, and I was like, no, shaking my head like a little kid, like stomping my feet, like I'm doing it right now again, because I don't want to write a book. I've never read a book. I sure as hell don't want to write one. I really don't think it. See, like, thank you, but like that, everyone says that. I would read it. I'm like, damn, man, like that just makes me feel like I'm supposed to do it. Like,
well, what do they want you to put in the book? Because a lot of times, what we've discovered is they only let you know what they want you to know about you. So what do they want?
Right. So I guess like that thing we just talked about with the they don't need to eat to consume would be one thing. I think they just kind of want me to, honestly, I'll be honest, and this is kind of embarrassing and weird, but I think they want me to do a section of poems from the heart of things that I've just from my experiences with them. They want me to do from the heart poems on encounters. And that's supposed to translate into something beautiful for everyone else. And it's freaking hard to accept that. Like me, I'm gonna now you want to make a book of poems. You know what I mean? So I'm like,
I like it though. I like it. I like it a lot.
I mean, you heard it here first. I haven't said that openly yet, but yeah. I don't
Is
know.
there like a ghostwriter thing? Like they get in your head and tell you what to write, or you write?
No, well, I've had that happen occasionally.
Because that'd be worth.
I've had that happen.
Not trying to get rich, but yeah.
No, I've had that happen occasionally, but more or less, it's usually when something's coming through for somebody else. Like, sometimes people ask me a question. They'll be like, "Hey, can you ask so and so? Can you ask Bubba? Can you ask them, the Sasquatch, about this?" And I'll be like, "It doesn't kind of work that way," you know. And I'll be typing to them like, "Yeah, well, I can, but it doesn't work that way." And all of a sudden, and I'm like, you know, my typing skills is like deep, 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 you know. And all of a sudden, it'll just be like like that, like, and I don't even know what's coming out, and then it goes through, and it's like a message for someone. And I don't know, it's just crazy. Take it for what you will, you know, but it definitely wasn't my thumb speed.
Yeah, I've heard stuff sounds just as out there, and from people that sound just as truthful.
Yeah, I mean, I don't knock anybody for anything at this point. I really don't, and it don't do me any justice to keep this weird crap to myself, because as much times as I think I stand, like, for lack of the pun, like, as much as I think I stand on an island by myself, every time I say something, people are like, "Oh man, like I thought I was the only one," and like it seems to be like just a bunch of people that were afraid to speak on stuff. Sorry, I curse a lot, so sorry, but a bunch of people that were afraid to speak on things. And I just said, you know what, I'm not gonna be that guy who's just like, you know, I'm reluctant, but I spit it out, you know. I'm reluctant, but eventually I'm just like, oh, just do it, you know.
You've said a lot of things that I've heard before from different people who you've obviously never met.
You know, eventually, you know, at this point in time, it's become tough for me to not hear other things and not watch other people's stuff and not be part of different, you know, other researchers and other guys and other, you know, people who've had experiences. But I tried for quite a while to not really take in anything from the outside or anybody else or watch anybody else's stuff, because I didn't want it to cloud my judgment when I was out there and have any preconceived notions of what should be happening or could be happening, or, you know, jump to a conclusion because of what somebody else had happened. And that was good for me for quite a while. I got a lot of things that way, going out blank slated with no with no agenda and no ideas in my head. And you know, now at this point, you know, it's kind of like when you go into doctor, you know, you get a doctor that's in a 4-year resident at school, and like they're like, oh, you know, like ask you a bunch of questions and like really interested in what's wrong with you, and then you get a doctor at 20 years and they're like, here's some, you know, medicine, because they got, you know, they've done it 100 times, like, you know.
They got them old doctors that call you fat. Like, stop eating so much. I'm like, what the hell? I'm paying you, buddy. I've had those. How frustrated do you get at the Bigfoot shows? That's got to make you want to fight.
Yeah. You know, so I don't think a lot of the people have bad intentions when they start. I think the production kind of takes over, because I've talked to Cliff, I've talked to Bobo. They are not the people they were on that show. I have one of my best friends did some shows on, you know, different channels, and you know, they don't use him anymore because he wouldn't create shit. You know, he wouldn't go and make things up. And then when he did hear something once, they wouldn't go with him. So he like he had to like literally force a cameraman to go. You know, things like that. So I do get frustrated with them, but I get why people sign up for them. Like I agreed to do one show, and it's because of the show. It's Paranormal Caught on Camera, and you know, I gave them like temporary licensing or whatever the hell it is to use one of my videos. And it didn't air yet. I don't know when it's gonna air. We did an interview like months ago, so I don't know when it's gonna be on. But But anyway, I like that show because they just take the everyday person, and they take their home video or whatever it is, and then they give them the option to interview or not, and they ask, can we use your footage? We'll give you a few bucks for it. Do you want to interview or do not? If you do interview, we'll give you a few bucks for it, which I think is pretty nice. I was doing it for free because I was excited. I was like, cool, I love that show. Like, you're one of the only paranormal shows I watch. Anyway, so, but yeah, I do not like. So I remember when I told you earlier, I said one of the, maybe a good guess would be like my buddy Doug, like Doug Hychek. He did one of the best shows ever, I think, on TV, Monster Quest. And he's a legend to me. I love this man, and he knows it. He's still like so active in the monster community. While I don't consider them a monster, you know what I mean? I just love all that he does for everyone and everything. He's just a great guy.
He's a friend of our Randy in Minnesota.
I think he's a friend of everybody, honestly.
Yeah,
he's a wonderful man.
House.
He's a wonderful man. He really is.
He?
Yeah,
I heard he was cool.
He's very cool. Very cool. I think I folded like a piece of paper the first time he called me. I saw his number come on, and I just I fanboyed, you know what I mean? Like, I was like, oh, like I got all flustered because like Monster Quest was like on my on my TV when he called, you know what I mean? Like, so
when you told me Doug, I thought that's who you were talking about. I was like, surely not Doug Hychek.
Yeah, no, yeah, he's really cool, like, about like just like helping out everybody and getting on anything, and just kind of.
Maybe I'll use the channel. I know Randy said he would talk to him, and Randy forgot.
Yeah, I mean, you had on Anthony. Anthony's good friends with him too.
Yeah, Anthony is a superstar.
Yes, he is.
Dude's hilarious.
Yes.
It's amazing how many good people are just trolling around down here with all of us low lifes.
Nah, come on.
It's gonna blow up. It's gonna blow up one day.
Look, man, everybody starts somewhere. Like, I remember the day I had 5 subscribers, like it was yesterday. 0 comments, 5 subscribers, like it was yesterday. And it takes some time, takes a little bit to build up, but like by tonight you'll be at like probably 100 subscribers. Next thing you'll be at 500, and then people roll in, and you'll have like 100 shows under your belt, and like it just happened. It comes. It comes.
Seems to grow in like a ratio.
At first,
like just a little bit more.
At first, yeah. At first, it's a weird. I don't know. See, again, like podcasts seem to grow pretty fast. People who can edit things grow faster. People who can make documentaries that grow faster. Like for me, I don't have any skills on any level. I only just learned how to make a thumbnail.
Oh, really?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how to edit. I literally turn on the camera and I go and I go and I go and I go and I go, and then and when I'm done, I turn it off. So everybody, it comes with me the whole trip, and that's it. I don't take nothing out. Don't put nothing in. That's it.
That was my college major, television production.
Yeah, that's cool.
But it takes so long to do. So my edits aren't the greatest. My edits aren't something that I would actually do to my standards. But I do edit. I edit a little bit. I won't edit this one much because it's already live. But the ones
maybe
I do,
maybe if you do one of those cool intros and outros, like that kind of crap is catchy. I don't know how to do it though. Like, I would love a cool like little intro, like like pump everybody up, like, but I don't know how to do it.
I had one made. I went down to the we have all the rocket center here because this is where they did the moon landing, the moon rockets.
Oh yeah.
I had one. I went and took all pictures of all the SR-71 Blackbird and the space shuttle, and then I put it together, and I hated it. This is the stupidest video ever. Who would watch this? It's like, hey everybody, I have a podcast. So you and 97 million other people, buddy.
It don't matter though. Like those 97 million podcasts might not be for, you know what I mean? They might not be for other people,
Yeah, and they also fade out pretty quick.
Yeah, and some people like to get people like to get in on the ground level of things too, They don't like to step in when there's already a million people, But
Maybe
don't if I have any advice to you, just keep plugging away exactly the way you are. Just keep plugging away.
The only thing that slowed me down before was getting guests. Now I think I'm on a roll.
Oh yeah. If you know any one of your past guests, if you just tap in at any point and just say like, you can hit me up anytime, and I'll be like, hey, yeah, you want somebody with Bigfoot? Like I got dozens. Like that'll do us, do an hour, no problem.
You got Wild Trees too. He's always game for an episode.
Yeah. For sure.
That's hilarious.
It's
been so quiet. I feel bad.
Oh, he's sick. All right. He's on death's door.
I know.
I'm just listening.
He's down there in Texas and he's sweating to death. It's hot here too. Oh, I know what I was going to ask a while ago. Do you think there's like a difference between the not so much breed but temperament of a Bigfoot that would hang out at a place like Long Island and a Bigfoot that would hang out like Yellowstone?
Yes.
Like it seems like a different officer in the Bigfoot army, something like.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So I mean, again, so I have the knowledge now of the mountains of New York, and then the suburbs of Long Island, and I've been to the Adirondacks too. So, but anyway, we'll just talk about what I frequent, which is the Catskill Mountains and then Long Island. On Long Island, they're very tolerant of people. They're very tolerant of people. They're very used to people. They do not act like Sasquatch, really. I mean, they mimic like sounds of suburbia, like cat fights, dogs, Harleys revving, and truck brakes and crap like that. They can't do a Sasquatch scream, and you know what I mean, like in the middle of the a neighborhood of thousands of people. You know what I'm saying? So it's fun. It's kind of funny. Like, so now when I go upstate and they're screaming in the woods, they're throwing rocks. You know what I mean? They're throwing rocks at my roof and doing these like Sasquatch type things that I've always heard of. My son. Well, actually, all three of our boys. I don't know how the dice rolled this way, but they're all autistic. All three of them looks like, and but our one who lives up there and has his own room, he's 7, I think. He keeps telling us of this thing at his window in the tree outside his window, and I'm like, oh, whatever. Like, I'm thinking he's just hearing me talk and or whatever, like picking up and wants to be like that, and so he's talking about the big hairy guy outside his window, and he's telling us that he's hearing rocks hit the window. They're throwing rocks. They're throwing rocks. They're throwing rocks. And I'm like, yeah. My wife, too. She's just brushing them off about it. And lo and behold, one day his screen is off. And he's like, oh, the screen fell off. So I'm like, all right, I'll go get it. Because he opened his window. So I'm like, I'll go get the screen. There's a freaking pile of rocks out there. I mean, not like in one spot, but like they're all over the roof. Like, I mean, we're not talking huge, fist-sized rocks, but they're big enough. Like some of them are whatever, but they're, some of them are like this big, some are that big. They didn't fall out of the sky. You know what I mean? Like, so something. Unless like he's got a little girlfriend and that's walking the pitch black mountain back roads to go throw rocks at his window, and then something's doing it.
They might have that attachment to you, since they know.
I don't know. See, like he makes these like noises. They're like very high pitched, and like. I remember once we were all walking as a family in the woods, and I remember seeing one in particular that was honed in on him, and he was like making all these high-pitched noises. And I remember it like I remember seeing it, and we were in like a state park at the time, and I remember seeing it like it's like swaying and doing things to get like a better look at him. And I don't know. I mean, this is going back a long ways, like many years. He was young, like really young. And she yelled at me at the time. She's like, "I know what you're doing back there," like, because she thought I was filming like the woods. So I was like, "Oh shit!" Like I kind of like ran back up to the family, but I was kind of like trolling back to like see what was happening, you know. But I don't know. I can't say one way or another. But
I mean, they
kind of,
could be fascinated with the people who are autistic.
yeah, I don't know. Like I tell you, he hits these notes that don't fit in my range. You know what I mean? Like.
I know you've heard about how people have said it's not necessarily a disability; it's more of a extra ability.
Let me tell you.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, he does not. That boy, that particular son, does not feel pain. None. He whoops me all up and down, and I mean, like he enjoys when I like bear hug him. Like I'm no pain. He falls like nothing. When I tell you nope, and it's scary sometimes because like you don't. Like if he really gets hurt, like he doesn't know he really got hurt, you know, and it's scary sometimes. But he's yeah, superhuman is definitely not an understatement.
Yeah, that's not
it does,
the death
they don't.
sentence I used to think it was.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
bro.
saying?
Right. Well, they
It's not
don't
like
fit
a life
into.
sentence.
They don't fit into our, you know, into the normal society. They don't fit into that. So there's something wrong with that. But man, I don't know. There's so many advantages I see to them that I wish I could be so carefree sometimes, you know?
Hey, he may be like the ultimate whisperer. He may put you to shame.
Yeah, you never know. You never know.
Maybe the poems are to get to him.
Yeah, it could be. Mind blown.
Yeah, hey, that's how I think. Like if what the base of this conversation is true, anything's possible, and I'm okay with it. If you want my honest opinion, I hope some of it's true.
Yeah.
At least like at the end of the day, like like the extra dimensional stuff. Because you always hear, where's the big monkeys hiding?
Right.
Have
Well,
they ever said anything about their bodies to you? Sorry.
no, it's all right. No, like, but let's just say they were, like, people always say it's impossible that they can be not found. Let's just say they were all the way flesh and blood. What's the chances? Like, they live in the wilderness. You know, I mean, I know personally it takes me to hike a mountain trail. It takes me like a couple of hours at best. And, you know, I'm like focused on the terrain and this and that. And if anything was out there and saw me coming from a mile away, huffing and puffing, they could literally just sit down and I would walk right past it if I wasn't looking for it. You know what I mean? Or take 10 steps back or whatever. You know, but yeah, no, as far as have they told me anything about their appearance, just that they are, so I've seen people put them in this box of like these variant types, and there's only this many variants, and I was told that there is no, like, they are like us, there is no like one and the same. Now, family traits, yes, but you know, like family traits, so like a tribe or a clan or a family may look the same, but they're all individual.
I was well, that's a good answer to a question. I was asking what about their dead bodies, like why haven't we found one? What they do with them?
Well, you know, I think Tesla is the best way to say it, is energy just transforms, it can't be destroyed. And I think that they have you know, they've mastered it a little more than we have, you know, whether they bury them or not, you know, physical bodies, if they have to, I don't know. I think I've come across mounds and things like that. But again, I can't tell if that's because of something that was put in my head by like other people. You know what I mean? To an extent, sometimes sometimes I think that's where I lean that way. But maybe they just take them through, and you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, 100%. Like I feel like when they do die, they might fade away like Obi-Wan. Like
something like that. Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah. I don't think it's like so sudden like it is here. You know, like you know, like we have freak accidents and stuff. Like I don't think their death comes that way.
Yeah, I wouldn't think that they would be so God, now I can't think of it. I wouldn't think they'd be so subject to death like we would be. They're not as fragile if they're even.
Right. Yeah.
I'm sitting here. My mind's racing right now. I'm not blacking out or anything.
Stop.
Yeah, another synapse formed.
It's the alpha brain. What do you want? This dog's nuts.
Alpha brain does work well. Keeps me in a good mood. Yeah, I wonder if like their bodies are like they have like organs. Because I know they can transform into orbs and go back to from whence they came.
Well, that's amazing that you know that much. Yeah. So interesting enough, I was told this very early on, and I couldn't fathom it. I literally brushed off what they told me. But they said we turn into orbs, and I don't think all of them do it, or maybe they do. I don't know, but I'll talk for who talked to me. Mm-hmm. He said that he turns into an orb, and that's when he goes through. So all those bend, tucks, connections, and that, and he goes through it, just like energy through conduit, just like electricity goes. That's how he travels through, and so you might see a footprint, and then where'd it go? It doesn't necessarily mean they stepped through that portal or they disappeared. They can go into that orb energy form like you just discussed, float away. You might see it floating through the woods, or it might go, sometimes that tree knock ain't a tree knock. Sometimes that's an orb smacking into the tree.
Being invaded by children all the time doing it. They think I have everything. Yeah, that was one of the things that got me. Like, I was just having random Bigfoot guests on because it's one of my favorite subjects. But when we heard about the orbs and the portals, I was like, oh, I'm like in 100%.
Yeah.
Did you ever see a portal out there? Like,
yes. Yeah.
What did it look like for you?
When you're, your old TV sets, when you turn them on and off with that, big button, like a monitor, like you remember you played Nintendo back in the day and you turn your TV on, and it would come on. And then when you turned it off, it would go like it would implode on itself, and then there would be like that, almost like that white slit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Kind of before it turned off. That's what it looked like. I've seen them as well, where like they just look like perfect circles cut out in the woods, and there's like light emanating through them, and you could kind of like see all the beings in it and stuff. It almost looks like a trampoline. A clear trampoline is like laid up in like just free floating in the middle of the woods, like a translucent trampoline. Like that's kind of what it looks like, and you could kind of see that what's behind it doesn't belong to the rest of the woods.
So how large is the portal? It's a clear trampoline.
Kind of like what his thing looks like right now, like his little picture down there. Like put that like against the backdrop of the woods, like you would be like, that don't belong there. You know what I mean?
And you can see through to like a city or another landscape.
The one I saw looked like it was like a washing machine full of like elementals. Like, I don't know, like they were trying, like there was like a, how like you have like a like the cup of fruits or whatever, and it has that cellophane on top, and like you peel that cellophane off or whatever. Like it almost looked like there was like a bunch of beings in that cup, and like they were waiting to punch through that cellophane. Like, but they just weren't.
I wonder if it's not just like I think we compared it to like a common technology that everybody knows how to use. Like everybody here knows how to use Excel and Windows, and everybody on the other side knows how to use the portal.
I can only. Yeah, it's hard to say. Like, I think that they're like the portals are like a community area. You know what I mean? I don't think they all necessarily intermingle all the time, but I think there's like, it's almost like how like you might not know everybody on the plane, but you all got to go to the same place. You know what I mean? So you friggin' jam in there. You know, same thing with the train. You all jam in the train. You don't know each other, but well, shit, we all got to go there. You know.
Do you think that Bigfoot's origin is Earth, or do you think their origin of their species or their civilization is somewhere else, or do you think they are earthbound, or not earthbound but Earth originated?
It's a great question. I don't know if I've ever thought of that. I don't know. I don't know if I've ever given that one thought. So something I was kind of taught early on was to just shut off that big picture shit, because it's gonna wait. You know, you're gonna spin in circles and you're gonna miss everything we're showing you. It doesn't mean that I can do it, all the time, because there's all these questions. But yeah, I would, if I had to just answer like now, I would say, yeah, I think they're earthbound. Yeah, I think they're from here, and I think they've been here. I think they've been here the longest, if anything. Yeah.
It's almost like they make fun of us for caring about those details that we're talking about here. Like it's not even one thousandth of what's the most important part of who they are.
Right. Yeah. Right. So, like, I mean, we're destroying a planet that they love. Like, so it's tough.
It's crazy. They're probably a lot more condensed than they used to be.
Yeah, they can see again. So here's the thing: like they could kind of be anywhere and everywhere. And that's something that I have to wonder is, are they always here on Long Island, or is it just they're just here for me? Like, you know what I mean? Are they just here for me?
Yeah, they may just have you up on a monitor and just go to you every once in a while.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I can't say for sure, but I know there's been other people that have seen them here, and they came out, and Junior's been sighted many times at Camp Hero, but that's a whole nother story. I could hook you up with my buddy who does the Montauk Project stuff at Camp Hero. His channel is called Montauk is Strange, but this kid, he's a great friend of mine. He goes way deeper than that channel. Like he's got books and books. He's like a living legend when it comes to Montauk Project and Camp Hero. Like,
yeah, I would love to talk about that with somebody, because I'm kind of like level 101 when it comes to Montauk.
Me too.
What's that? The big radar.
Yeah, well, yeah. We were just in there I was in there with him.
Weren't you with the Dark Hour?
Yeah.
Michael Roser?
Yeah. I love that guy.
He's incredible.
Yeah, great dude.
What kind of vibes you get from Montauk when you go over there, since you're on the sensitive side? If anything.
So like it's actually in Michael's, like, the first one he did. He's got another one coming out from the last time we were there, but the Montauk Enigma documentary he did, he's asking me like what I feel as I'm driving in. I'm telling him, I'm like, it feels like a magnet, like it feels like there's like something pulling me in. Sometimes it's the reverse. When you put magnets together that don't go together, and they just push away from each other. Sometimes I'll get that resistance, but that particular time, I believe I was saying, like, it feels like a magnet, like something's like pulling me in, and I could feel it getting stronger as we got closer. But the air gets thick. Maybe it's just the energy gets thick. The second time we went, I didn't really feel it. I didn't pick up on anything, pretty much the whole day. I didn't pick up on any energies. So what does that say? I have no idea. It just it's just the way it felt.
It could be in and out, just like the Sasquatch portals. They may not be there that day.
Yeah, well, he's described that this one spot that there's like a vortex of energy that kind of like is like good and bad, good and bad, and good bad. I don't know. You can get into it with him, I'm sure. Better explanations. Like, I literally go for the Sasquatch side because Junior's there and the cryptids, and I kind of do that aspect of that side of things. And then they're, Michael's very sensitive, and then, Brian's the expert, and, of Montauk, and like it all kind of meshes well together.
I bet a place like that is like Woodstock for those guys.
Man, we'll get into that. We'll get into that offline.
Yeah. I can't imagine. Like I'll quit bringing up Montauk to you since it's not your area of expertise. But was the phenomenon there before the chair, or did the chair bring it? Like, is the chair utilizing the phenomenon?
So I'll tell you my theory on underground bases in general.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they're ours. I think we came and took over them and tried to tap into whatever the ancient species that was there before us was tapping into. We try to figure it out, and then we try to mimic it. Whether it be the Anunnaki or whatever. But I think, because I don't think we have the technology to build down like that and all that crazy shit. I don't. I think we just kind of pick up the pieces and try to mimic them. Or our government does anyway.
I think it's like a Tartarian kind of thing. Mud flood was already there when we got here.
Yeah, quite possibly. Yeah. Like there's so many things throughout history where I see it and I'm like, we didn't do that. Like I'm like, no, we didn't build that. No way. But that's just me. I don't know. I'm big into that. Like, I had to get big into the Anunnaki. I don't want to say big into it, but I had to get knowledge of them. I had to get knowledge of like reptilian races and things like that. I had to kind of learn a little bit about everything because I'm out there dancing, in their playground, and I kind of got to know what else is, swirling around me. And the best advice I got was to continuously, whether you're religious or not, continuously walk in the light and let the dark know that you walk in the light. That's what I portray. Hey, I walk in the light. I ain't here for your dark bullshit. I'm here. I walk in the light. I'm not here for that dark crap. I don't feed on you. There's no negativity for you to feed off. Leave that crap over there. Like kind of like how like a demon will come in your house and try to like scare you and feed off you and do these things to keep getting stronger and feeding off you. There's things in the woods and the brush that they're out there to do the same kind of crap.
That's a lot of what that Appalachian lore is. The whistling in the woods and the following you home. God, that stuff's terrifying. Don't look behind you at night.
Yeah. Well, there's, a lot of these things are telepathic. So no matter how hard you try to not let it follow you home, it could literally just watch you through your eyes, like as scary as that is, it's, you can't drive home blindfolded.
Yeah, it's really up to them.
Yeah.
We got is this Bama Jeff?
Where? Bama? Yeah. No, it's Bama Bigfoot.
Oh. Bama Jeff?
That's Bama Bigfoot. That's another researcher.
Well, Bama Bigfoot's a future podcast guest.
Welcome there you
to
go.
The party.
There you go.
I'll be recruiting. I'll be recruiting folks left and right.
That's your official invite.
Now. All right. I say we're close to wrapping up.
Okay.
So you can go have the kids. Yeah, it's been I say it every time, but wait a minute. I know what I was going to say. I know what I was going to say earlier. I keep losing trains of thought. How in the world do you go on with your life knowing there's Bigfoot out there? Let me just end with that.
Okay, so it's very tough. So
I don't know where you work, but how do you go into wherever you work knowing there's Bigfoot at home?
Well, I'm a retired veteran. Like, I'm forced into retirement, obviously. Disabled veteran is more accurate. So I do not physically work. But it can consume you. It ruins lives, because when people find out about this stuff and it becomes an obsession sometimes, and the people become obsessed. And I almost got that far and let it consume me and take over and kind of let go of relationships that I cared about because I was so obsessed. And prioritizing is very big. But they're also big on family too. So what I do is just make sure all my priorities are in check. All my kids and wife are, everything's taken care of first. And I put in a lot of time in the field, but I also let them know that they're welcome at my house, but at the same time, like, I got crap to do, and you can't interfere at the same. You know what I mean? You're welcome here and whatever, but I have certain times where I have to put things into a priority spot. And if I do not make time for the woods come to me. That happens every time. So
okay.
I got about a 72-hour window before windows start getting slapped and crap like that.
So Mike, we're out of peanut butter.
Yeah, they don't take peanut butter from me.
You're the only one. How'd you get out of that job?
They don't take peanut butter from me. I don't know why. I've left it a few times, and it's been taken in some places. Now I go dozens, maybe hundreds of places, but it's been taken a couple times. But I think they like I try to bring things that are not native to the region, like Mexican fruits. I think are big, like dragon fruits and things like that, papayas, stuff like that. That's you can't find in New York. Like a Sasquatch that living in New York couldn't get that naturally from that area.
Like an avocado from a bodega, perhaps?
Yeah. I bring plantains. I like to bring because they look like bananas, but they're not.
Yeah, they're very good fried.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes.
A similar thing, like you said, that maybe you're used to the Bigfoot now. A lot of the alien abductees, once they get over the initial fact they're being kidnapped, kind of make it like a joyride. It's like their thing they do.
Yeah,
so like you're used to it now. It's not like if I saw one in my backyard, I'd have a hard time doing anything for about a year and a half. But you do with them like every day, so maybe it's not a big deal to you anymore.
Yeah, I don't take it for granted. I don't take it for granted, and it never gets really normal, but it is kind of normal. You know what I mean? I'm never really ready to see one full on. Like it never is like, whoa, like it's never not shocking because I see one. Like they're massive. Like you're not gonna go to a basketball game and then like go a year later and be like, well, I saw Shaq last year and he, so no big deal. Like if you're ground level with these guys, they're huge,
Yeah.
It
like
never
a buffalo on his feet.
Yeah, it gets a little. I guess it gets a little normal. Yeah, like, but not. But yeah, my world is very easy. My wife is very supportive. My kids love it. Like everything is very easy for me. My mother was a little really resistant at first, and then she started to hear things and was like, "Hey, like, what's really going on?" And I was like, "Look, like, here's the deal." And so she said, "Okay, is there a way to calm it down?" And I said, "Yeah." And whatever. So like my family's all on board. So it's very easy for me in that sense. Like I know people that have a lot of resistance right there at their home front, and that makes things hard.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the equivalent to seeing a ghost. I mean, it's the same thing as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
And I don't know how I'd handle it. I think I could get used to it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if every time you go out to like go and meet and go out to meet your Sasquatch friends and every time you walk out, your wife is like, you're a bum, you're an idiot, like, what are you, stupid, like there's nothing out there, like keep going chasing that, you know what I mean? Like that shit is going to be very taxing, you know what I mean? And you know what I'm saying? So like I'm very blessed because I know a lot of people that have those those trials and tribulations, if you will.
I can't imagine. Like what if the book they're having you write is like the Sasquatch equivalent to like the Guide to the Recently Deceased? Like what if that's like the Beetlejuice? What if like how to see a Sasquatch? I don't know.
Yeah,
this is me brainstorm.
I think
you said it was poems though. So.
No, well, I don't know if that's going to be the whole thing. You know what I mean? But that was just something that popped up when I could kind of that kind of popped into my head, like as something I was supposed to do,
Mhm.
because I don't know where to begin, and I have people tell me like, yo, you have so much, just put it down there. But like, I don't know which direction to go in. Should I write the encounters that didn't happen on camera, like, or should I honestly think, like people are saying, just start writing, and I think I'm just gonna make it a mixed bag of whatever the hell comes out of my head.
Oh yeah. If it's structured, nobody's gonna buy it.
That's true.
If it's like, okay, I met Bubba here, and it's the time Bubba liked passion fruit and yada yada yada. But,
yeah, well, I guess I got that on my side, because there's nothing normal about any of it.
It's gonna be like some. I wanted to say the Joseph Smith.
I tried to be lazy, and I was gonna do a series of videos called "The Book I'll Never Write," and I was just gonna like kind of just talk about stuff, but it seems more evident daily that that's not what they want me to do, and I'm trying to skate out of it, but it just keeps coming back to it.
I would say you better do something, because I'm not trying to be mean. I'd say you better do something, because the trust based and the attention based, if they're giving you the leeway and possibly the guidance and inspiration, that's going to be to the next step. Maybe you get to go through the giant trampoline in a few years. You never know. Maybe that's the next step.
Oh yeah,
you get to go into the cornfield.
Well, let me tell you how that works, actually, or what I was told how that works very quickly, because I had a time where I was near a portal, and I was on this like ledge, like this high ridge, and I didn't know I was near a portal, but I was like vibrating, and it like vibrated me back to the point where I almost fell off this ridge. And I came to later and figured out that I was near a portal, and it was like vibrating, like I guess there was energy coming out of it or whatever, and it was like vibrating me back, like almost like a force field, if you will. And I was like, damn, well, I wonder if I almost walked through it. So the message that came through next was, you have to be invited, and you're going to have to consent to go through. So even if we can't just pull you in, and you can't just walk in, you have to get an invite, and you have to consent. Like that, as a human, as me, I don't know if that's for everybody. Again, you know what I mean? I'm just telling you what I
imagine so.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it can't be very good for your body if it indeed is something you can go through. Like, it's got to be kind of black hole-ish.
I don't know. I mean, I can't speak from personal. I do know people that say they've gone through. Some people say they were there for a minute. Some people say they were there for, what seemed like hours. I've heard different things of what it looks like, but I can't tell you, because it's not my experience yet.
Yeah, I mean, that may be your next step. That may not even be something you want to do, but maybe you want to go behind the curtain. Yeah,
it's scary. Like, it's scary to think about that. It's scary to think, like, what if you don't come back? What if what if I'm on the other side of the veil, like, forever, looking at this side, and nobody knows where the hell I am? Like, it's just things that cross your mind in that scenario. Like,
yeah, that's always a possibility, because you're trusting a lot of stuff that could be evil that you don't know.
Yeah,
it could be how the devil sells the soul to you.
Sure.
Or you sell your soul to the devil.
So many what ifs. Yeah, it's crazy.
All right. Well, we'll end on selling our soul to the devil and walking through portal. Thanks for being on, Mike. I'll definitely have you back on. I'm going to milk you for all the guests you are worth. Prepare to be harassed.
Oh, it's all right.
You think you had PTSD before? Now you know Bobby Dizzle. Prepare to have an attachment. And thanks everybody for watching. You can find Long Island Bigfoot on Facebook and YouTube by searching Long Island Bigfoot. The man does not hide very well. Not very Bigfoot-like. Not a hard man to find. I typed in Long Island Bigfoot. 10 days later, he's right here. The guy does not take any tips on hide and seek from the champ. And Wild Trees has disappeared. We're going to go ahead. Well, Wild Trees is back. Wild Trees, thanks for being on. Thanks for being on, Wild Trees, as always. Get well soon.
Thank you, Mike.
Don't you go dying on me.
I'd love to have you, Mike, also on my channel when I'm feeling better, for sure.
Yeah. We'll work it out, brother. Sounds good, man.
Thank you so much.
Links to Wild Trees. Links to Wild Trees is in the description as well, and all the ways to follow me is there as well. Thanks everyone for joining, and we're going to sign off right now. Thanks, Mike, in broadcast. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
Later, guys.